coach for the Swedish Golf Federation. All right? I used to work with the professional golfers who were Swedish. One of our young players, and I have permission to tell this story, one of our young players named Richard Johnson. Richard subsequently had a neck injury and is no longer playing on the tour. But Richard started to play really, really well. When you're on the PGA Tour, you play most of the time in very quiet circumstances. If you've never been on a golf course, it's like a graveyard without the tombstones. All right? It's very quiet out there. And so what happened was when he started to play well, crowds started to come to watch. Television cameras started to broadcast his play. He started getting text messages from his friends back home in Sweden. Right? And he started to play with more high-profile players. Players, for example, like Tiger Woods. And so he started to get very nervous about this kind of thing. And that's what he began to think about. Also, when you play well in professional sports, do you make a lot of money or a little money? You make a lot of money, right? I have a good high school friend that lives here. He drove me by Len Dawson's house. Some of you have seen Len Dawson's house? Yeah. He's not hurting, is he? No. Fairly successful. So Richard was also thinking about this money that he was going to be making. What do you think was starting to happen to his golf performance as he started thinking about his money, his friends, television, Tiger? Yeah, exactly. Started to go downhill because he wasn't prioritizing the most important problems, which in golf is fairly simple. There's a ball, there's a hole, put the ball in the hole in the least number of strokes. And that's all you should be thinking about. And then when that's over, you could be thinking about Tiger. You could be thinking about, one of the reasons I have to tell you this, one of the reasons Richard was thinking about Tiger is because Tiger's ex-wife and Richard's wife play tennis together. They're a team together. So there was a little bit more to that story, sorry. So you could think about Tiger, you could think about the money, you could think about afterwards. But right now, what do you need to think about? So you have to prioritize your most important decisions. Was that easy for him to do? No. But here's the thing. If you immediately start thinking, gee, I could make $500,000 this week, start thinking about what you most need to focus on because you can control how you think. In fact, those brain scans you saw up there, Dr. Cruz teaches or trains people to get rid of those emotions and get back into how you have to think calmly. And she works with not only professional athletes, but also brain surgeons, interestingly enough. None here in Kansas City, so don't worry about surgeons being out of emotional control here. All right. You filter out distractors. You focus on the things that are most important. You use your key principles and your underlying instruction, the most important thing, that's what you focus on. In golf, there's a golf ball, there's a hole. Get the ball in the hole in the least number of strokes. That's the principle. No matter where you are, under any conditions, that's it. In project management, you have certain principles that you learn. There's a process you use, whether it's Agile or it might be some other program. That is what you use. Those are the basic principles. You don't let go of those. Unless, of course, you feel like they're not working. Then maybe you need to change the strategy. You make decisions in prime time. What decision do we have to make today or right now? What decisions can we put off? Or what decisions don't we have to make at all? And then finally, you got to be flexible and willing to change. Right? So, answer this question for me. What would make you a better project manager? What would help you make better decisions? And like I shared with you in the last presentation, just pick one. Is your Achilles heel the bad decisions you make? Well, maybe you need more attention there. Or analytic decisions. Do you need to be a better strategic thinker, for example, or a better problem solver? Or do you need better at predicting the future, the outcomes of your actions? How about intuitive thinking? Do you get those feelings and deny them? How do you maximize them? And then finally, maybe you can make better decisions under pressure. Okay. I wanted to leave you like I did last program with a poem. You can tell I'm into poems. Robert Frost. Most of you have probably read this when you're in elementary or high school. I should be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Now, many people believe the name of that poem is The Road Less Traveled, but it's not. It's The Road Not Taken. And everybody interprets poetry a little bit different. Here's my interpretation. Yes, he took the one less traveled. In fact, if you read the poem, he's not even really sure it was the one less traveled. But that was his lure into that road. He took the one less traveled, and it did make all the difference. Because if he had taken the road not taken, that would have made all the difference. And to me, the message is clear. The decisions you make all the difference. And I hope some of the things I shared with you today will help you make good decisions so those differences will be positive in your life. Thank you.
Hey, one more time for Dr. Paul Schempp, everybody. Okay, who asked the question about LinkedIn and the usage and all that? Right over here. Okay, thank you. You know, he didn't have time to do this on stage, obviously. I looked it up, so this is like just kind of, I don't know, this was a Google search. So I found that like 13% of millennials use LinkedIn, which is weird because 13% of baby boomers apparently also use LinkedIn. So couldn't find anything for the middle group. I guess that's a mystery. And you'll just have to wonder. But thanks for being with us today. It was great having you all the way from Georgia, sharing your wisdom. Thank you, Doctor. And we're up for another break. And he's got us out of here on time because he's amazing. So 15-minute break and then another breakout. So have fun.